Hi, Dr. David here, author of Lust, Men, and Meth, A Gay Man's Guide to Sex and Recovery, and the soon-to-be-released new book called Sex Under the Influence, exploring the intersection of sex and drug use. Not just for gay folks or gay straight, it's for men, women, gay, straight, not just amphetamines, but all drugs. But today I'd like to talk specifically about something that we heard from a viewer, and that is, why is methamphetamine so central to chemsex? Why does that occur? And first of all, let me just say, methamphetamine is almost always central to chemsex, but not always. There are some variations, especially in Europe and some other countries outside the United States, where methamphetamine is given a little bit of a competition from cousins. These are all what are called alpha PVPs. They're cathinones. These are all classes of drugs. They all work in very basically similar ways, right? They're all synthetic. They're manufactured in the lab from things. That's true of methamphetamine. It's also true for other drugs like mephedrone, which is extremely popular in the UK and other parts of Europe, and sometimes is used in conjunction with methamphetamine. We're also seeing new drugs, 3-MMC, mephedrone is 4-MMC. Again, chemical names all describing these drugs, and they basically all work in the same way. In my experience, methamphetamine actually works the best in terms of releasing incredible amounts of dopamine. And if I had to answer one sentence, a response to that question, why is methamphetamine so central? It's simply because of that. Meth releases so much dopamine, so much more than cocaine, so much more than porn, so much more than any other addictive substance. It's about 13 times the amount of dopamine that we have normally floating around in our system. That's a powerful mood-changing drug, and that is why it's so it's just so pervasive. What does that do? It helps the person dissociate, it disconnects themselves. We find that a lot of people who have depression or shame or a lot of inhibitions, whatever's worrying them, they can step out of it into this kind of meth bubble. And they, as one client of mine said, well, I have 8 hours of bulletproof happiness. The problem is it comes at a great cost. It really quickly hijacks whatever we associate it with. If we're doing it with sex, oftentimes our sex becomes dependent on that meth high. This is one of the great struggles I have working with clients as a sex therapist. People are trying to rediscover their sex lives, even though they're really struggling with it. Because of that, also the dopamine release, there's quick tolerance and escalation. That means simply that very quickly, people have to use more of the drug or up the ante in other ways, more risky behavior, more kinky stuff, more taboo, just to get the same level of dopamine. We start to chase that high. That's classic addiction, and methamphetamine is the worst I've seen of all. Stay away. It comes at great cost, which we've talked about elsewhere here in this series. Take care. Dr. David here. Bye-bye.